Eliot Hayes had always preferred solitude. As a xenobiologist stationed on Epsilon 7, a remote research outpost orbiting a dim orange star, he spent most of his days cataloging alien flora and fauna, talking to himself more than anyone else. It wasn't loneliness, he told himself. It was focus, concentration, a ritual he performed while analyzing samples or recalibrating the environmental scanners. But today, his usual monologue, about photosynthetic rates and plasma absorption in the native silvershade moss, was interrupted in a way he could never have predicted. "I don't understand why the plasma readings are off," he muttered under his breath, scratching his temple. A soft, lilting voice replied, startling him so badly he nearly dropped his datapad. "You don't." Eliot whipped his head around. There, framed by the translucent walls of the observation chamber, was her. She was unlike any Xylenian specimen he had ever seen in the research databanks. Her skin shimmered with a subtle opalescent glow, a gradient of silver to violet. Her eyes, luminescent and impossibly wide, fixed on him with an intensity that made his heart stutter. I thought you were," he stammered. "I mean, I was just talking to myself." She smiled, a faint curl of lips that was both gentle and unsettling. "You were thinking aloud. I heard everything." Eliot froze. Every instinct in his body screamed that this was wrong. Xylenians were known for subtle telepathy, but direct mental interception was rarely confirmed outside controlled experiments. And here she was, apparently listening to every stray thought he had whispered to the empty chamber. I didn't mean anything. I mean, I wasn't thinking about you specifically," he said, trying to recover. She tilted her head, curiosity dancing across her glowing features. "Perhaps not deliberately," she said. "But your mind is open." The room felt smaller, tighter, as if her gaze alone compressed the air around him. Eliot swallowed hard, trying to regain composure. "My name is Eliot Hayes," he said, extending a hand reflexively. "I am Selira," she replied, her voice melodic yet imbued with a weight he could feel as much as hear. "And your thoughts are interesting." Part 2. An Unintended Connection. Over the next few days, Eliot tried to maintain routine, hoping she was a transient anomaly, one of the Xylenian researchers sent to observe the human contingent. But Selira did not leave. She appeared at random times in the labs, corridors, even the observation deck, always smiling faintly, always listening. And with every encounter, Eliot's self-consciousness grew. Every thought, every careless mutter, seemed to be intercepted. "You are distracted," she said one morning as he recalibrated a nutrient analyzer. "I'm not distracted," Eliot replied defensively, though his fingers trembled slightly over the controls. "You are thinking about the plasma absorption rates incorrectly." "Again," Selira said, tilting her head like she could read through him physically. Eliot sighed. "You don't even have the right data yet." "How can you?" "I can sense your intent," she interrupted softly. "Your calculations are clouded by something else. Curiosity, anxiety, fascination." Eliot froze mid-motion. Fascination. That thought had only formed as he looked at her earlier. Her glow catching the soft light of the lab, the subtle curves of her form that betrayed elegance as much as alien physiology. He cursed under his breath. "Great." She heard that too. Selira's eyes softened. "It is not shameful. Humans think in many layers. Some thoughts are fleeting, some are permanent. I can distinguish them." Eliot had no choice but to exhale. "Well, that's reassuring." For the first time, Selira smiled fully, and Eliot felt a warmth spread through him, equal parts fear and awe. Part 3. Crossing Boundaries. A week later, during a systems diagnostics test, Eliot muttered another stray thought, this time about her. About her presence, her unexpected beauty, and the way her eyes seemed to see straight into his mind. Selira froze mid-step. That thought, she said slowly, was unguarded. Eliot turned pale. I didn't mean to. No, she interrupted, moving closer. You cannot help what your mind produces. But now you know, I hear more than you intend. Every stray impulse, every fleeting curiosity. I'm sorry, he stammered. You need not apologize, she said. Your thoughts are honest. And that honesty is rare. Something shifted then. A tension neither of them acknowledged but both felt. Eliot realized that the daily fear of accidental telepathy had given way to something more profound. A connection neither of them had asked for, but which now existed irrevocably. The next day, they found themselves paired in a joint analysis of a recently discovered crystalline organism. Eliot tried to concentrate on the data, but his thoughts kept drifting toward her, toward the faint flicker of violet in her irises, toward the soundless hum she seemed to carry around her like an aura. Finally, unable to suppress it, he thought aloud, I wonder what she is feeling right now. Selira's gaze met his, steady and unwavering. I am aware, she said softly. You are not the first human to wonder. But you are the first to ask with such sincerity. Her words felt like a spark in the dark, illuminating everything Eliot had tried to keep contained. His curiosity, his fascination, even a subtle yearning he did not dare name aloud. Part 4, Crisis in the Laboratory. 2 weeks into their reluctant partnership, the facility experienced a critical systems failure. The containment field for a volatile plasma sample destabilized, threatening a catastrophic explosion. Alarms blared as Eliot ran to stabilize the chamber, wires sparking, the air thick with ionized energy. Selira appeared beside him instantly, hands glowing faintly with bioluminescent energy. Step back, she instructed. I can contain it. No, I can. Eliot began, but she placed a firm hand on his shoulder, stopping him. Their minds brushed, and suddenly Eliot experienced something impossible. He could feel her thought patterns, her calculations, the way she analyzed the plasma. Simultaneously, she felt his panic, his fear, and a desperate determination not to fail. Together, without words, they synchronized their actions. Energy rippled around Selira's hands, stabilizing the containment field. The alarms ceased. Silence fell, punctuated only by Eliot's ragged breathing. Selira smiled faintly. You have potential beyond your species' current capabilities, she said. But you are human. You act with emotion. Eliot laughed shakily. Emotion almost killed us. No, she replied, eyes glinting. Emotion saved us. Part 5. Confessions between minds. After the incident, they found themselves alone in the observation chamber, the suns dipping below Epsilon 7's horizon. The sky was a riot of orange and violet, reflecting the twin light sources in the crystalline walls. Eliot realized, with both dread and exhilaration, that he could not keep silent any longer. I think about you more than I should. I don't know why, but He froze mentally, afraid she would hear the rest. Instead, Selira stepped closer. Finish it, she whispered, her voice echoing not just in the room, but somehow inside his mind. I feel a connection to you, he admitted aloud. A connection I can't explain. I wasn't supposed to think about you this way.